Hi everyone, it's John from What Up. Welcome back to another video. Today we're talking Wheel of Time news, specifically new cast members as well as locations for Season 3, some episode titles that may or may not be placeholders, we'll get into that during the video, as well as a few other tidbits including some surprising guests at the filming locations in South Africa that don't really fit in with the storylines being filmed. So we're going to talk about all of that in today's video. So if you're new to the channel, you don't know what we do here, we cover Wheel of Time all of the time. That is pretty much all we talk about. If you like that sort of thing, subscribe to the channel, and of course, tell a couple of your friends. I'm terrible at selling myself and selling the channel, but you folks are doing a fantastic job. Most of the channel's growth, in fact, I would say probably all of it, is due to you folks, and I want to thank you so much for that. We'll probably do a contest when we get around 25,000 subscribers, which may or may not be soon because we're getting close. But until then, keep doing the good work and telling other people about What Up. Now, in today's video, we're going to talk about a few things related to both the books and the show, so I have to give a spoiler warning. So, spoiler warning, since we are talking about Season 3 of Sony and Amazon's Wheel of Time show, if you haven't seen the first two seasons, I, of course, will ruin things from both of those seasons. But I'm also going to ruin some things from the books because we're speculating about which characters certain cast members or potential cast members may play. So if you have not read the first 4 books of Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time series, that's The Eye of the World Through the Shadow Rising, be forewarned, I may ruin plot points and character arcs from that medium as well as the show. Won't be really huge points, but it'll be enough to ruin your enjoyment if you hate spoilers. I'm warned. Alright, let's get on to the video. Alright, so first off, big shout out to WOTSERIES.com. I've left a link to 3 different articles down below in the description box. I'm going to reference all 3 of them in today's video. Without them, the longing in between seasons, that 2-year break that we have in between seasons right now, that seems to be normal for most productions, but feels way longer when it's the Wheel of Time, would be completely unbearable. They fill the longing with a ton of information and a ton of news. They do a lot of digging, they do a lot of finding out stuff, and it may not be official, but it is always right. So make sure you go check them out, and of course support them in any way you can. They are the foundation right now of the Wheel of Time fandom as far as I'm concerned. Now, we're going to talk about a couple of different things here. We're going to talk about some potential actors that may be joining for Season 3. Now, when I say potential, it's because these folks aren't confirmed by Amazon, and in fact, they were only seen in and around Cape Town in South Africa and some of the other areas that Wheel of Time is filming in. Pretty suspicious, but not quite a smoking gun. So they may have been there for other reasons, or on vacation, or to film something else, because Cape Town is quite the booming TV and movie industry. They film a lot of things there. But the circumstances just lined up almost too good for it not to be mentioned that they may be in the Wheel of Time. So the first person we're going to talk about here is Ferdinand Mackay. He's the gentleman on the screen right now. He was a grad of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland in 2023. He hasn't done anything really big yet as far as acting goes. He's done a number of short films. He's done some stage work, and he also raps. So he has a bunch of his music as well as some of his short films on his website, which I'll leave a link to down below in the description box if you folks want to check him out. He's actually quite good. But he hasn't had that big break yet. And Wheel of Time may be that thing for him if he's in the show. Now, what they were filming in South Africa calls for a wide, varied number of different people because they were doing flashbacks, they were doing stuff for the Ideal Waste, they were doing stuff for Chenchiko, they were doing all kinds of different things in South Africa. So I can't really speculate on what character or characters he may be playing there, but my guess is if I had to put a name to it, probably something in some of the flashbacks that we see during the Rodian scenes in the book series. That's just a guess, though. All right, next we have Kieran Kabali Dwyer. He's another actor that was spotted in and around Cape Town in South Africa whenever they were filming The Wheel of Time. He has done a few different things. So he's done some voice acting. You probably recognize him from Assassin's Creed Mirage. He's done stage work for National Theatre Live. But again, he is another actor that hasn't had that big break just yet. He hasn't had that huge role that's really brought him to the forefront. And Wheel of Time can do that because what Amazon and Sony have been really good at doing, and I've said this probably the last 4 years the channel's been active, is they take brand new actors and actresses, especially people who have very little experience, and they thrust them on the stage, and they do really, really well because they pair them with some very veteran actors that have very long CVs, and they kind of play off one another. So you'll see scenes, especially with the Emmons Fielders, they were all relatively new to acting. They've done a lot of stage work. They've done some small things in the past before the Wheel of Time, but Wheel of Time was their first real big production, and they paired them up with the likes of Daniel Henney and Rosamund Pike, and it just helped everyone on screen. So when I see actors without a whole lot on their CV joining the Wheel of Time, it actually makes me pretty happy because that means they haven't formed any bad habits yet, and they're there to learn from some of the best. and they usually bring out the best of those best actors and actresses that are on screen as well. So that's my two cents on that anyway. All right, next we have Czech actress Diana Dulinkova. I'm probably mispronouncing that name, and I do apologize if I do. She was born in '94, and she's been acting since 2021. She's done a lot of short films and a lot of Czech TV, a lot of mini-series on Czech TV specifically. And Wheel of Time also tends to cast a ton of Czech actors and actresses because their base of productions is in Prague in the Czech Republic. So this wouldn't be really surprising that Czech actress was in South Africa filming for the Wheel of Time. So there's that. And then we have Natasha Culzac. Now she is she's recognizable. You probably know who she is already just from looking at the picture. She's a British actress, but she didn't start her career there. She started in journalism, and then after her career in journalism kind of took off for a little bit, she did some marketing for a homeless charity before beginning a modeling career. Then she took some acting classes at age 30 and kind of just exploded after that. She's probably best known for her roles in The Witcher and Halo. If you haven't seen her in Halo specifically, she is at the forefront of a lot of different scenes in that particular show, and she is fantastic. I don't know what to say about her other than the fact that I really enjoy her acting in that series. And Halo, in my opinion, I really enjoyed that. It was a fun series. Not a big fan of the games, but did like the show. So she was also seen in and around South Africa and Cape Town during the time of Wheel of Time filming. So I can't speculate on what anyone would play, but based upon who she is, especially the type of character she plays, in Halo she plays a very physical character. She's very tall, and she's also a redhead. So Aiel, most likely, that's where I'm going to put my money at. And whereas she is sort of a household name right now, at least considering the fact that she's been in The Witcher and in Halo, some bigger productions the last couple of years, she is probably not a walk-on role, and she is probably not a role that's going to be just a little bit of extra in the back. I would hope that she's going to be playing one of the Maidens of the Spear that is going to be at the forefront of the series for years to come, because I think she would be a really, really good pick for a Maiden, at least in my opinion. I love her as an actress. I would love to see her in the Wheel of Time for an extended period rather than just a walk-on role. The last actress that's joining us for season 3 is Ania Marson. She is a silver screen actress of legendary proportions. She's been acting since 1963. She's been in some very, very well-known productions, both stage, television, and movie, and her CV is incredibly impressive, and this is a big get for the Wheel of Time. Now, the Wheel of Time is no stranger to walk-on roles that are either a couple of episodes long with a few lines, or just sort of quick little like cameos for legendary actresses. We did that a couple of times in season 2. It looks like we're doing it again for season 3. Now, she's not speculated to be in the 3rd season. She's actually known because her CV was updated by her agency, and they put down Wheel of Time season 3, including her role. So a little bit of a mess up there. It got changed afterwards, but it was out there. Once it's on the internet, it's there forever, like I like to say. So we know she's going to be playing Latra in season 3. Now, if you don't know who Latra is, think way back to the cold open of episode 8 of season 1. You had the dragon Lucerne on screen with a female Aes Sedai, Latra. Now, she is basically one of the leaders of the Aes Sedai in the Age of Legends, and she has a whole lot of impressive accomplishments under her belt, but she's not really in the main books. It's more of an appendice type thing. She was in described in a lot of the different appendices of the books and in the companion and whatnot, but she didn't really have a big part in the books themselves. So where she's aged up a bit here, because this actress is a little bit older than the actress that played her in season 1, my guess is we're likely going to see this in flashbacks. So this is, in my opinion, flashback confirmed for season 3. So we know that someone is going to go through those glass columns at Rodian, and they're probably going to see some bits of the Age of Legends, the beginning of the breaking, and we're probably going to see Latra and the other Aes Sedai trying to salvage things, as it were, at the end of the breaking and setting up the Aiel, which kind of rolls right into some of the leaks that we've been seeing in pictures and stuff. I'll do a whole other video just on those, but we have seen some of those wagons from the Age of Legends. We have seen Aiel in Age of Legends type garb on set in season 3 in Cape Town. So my guess is we're probably, well, no, we're definitely getting flashbacks, which makes me very, very happy. So let me know what you folks think. So we have the 4 actors and actresses we talked about earlier that are speculated to be in the show, not 100%. And of course, we have Ania. What do you think about this? Does this confirm flashbacks? I mean, I'm pretty sure that we're definitely getting flashbacks if she's playing an older Latra, because it makes no sense for any other reason than she's playing an older Latra than to have her in a flashback, perhaps around the beginning of the breaking or so, or the formation of the White Tower, somewhere in that area, like somewhere around there. So let me know in the comments down below what you folks think, if that's the case, and if you think that we're going to get those scenes from the Age of Legends. All right, so we have 3 other cast members I want to talk about here. 2 of them were spotted in South Africa. One of them I think filmed. The other one I don't believe did. And then a third person that people really wanted to be in South Africa, and I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. So first person that was spotted down there was Alexander Karim. He plays Luce Theron the Dragon in seasons 1 and 2 of the show. And him being in and around Cape Town and where they're filming for the Wheel of Time in South Africa during that time frame makes total sense. I think it's pretty likely that he did film, because if they're showing some flashback scenes to the Age of Legends, they're probably going to show some stuff for the Dragon as well. At least that's my gut feeling anyway. We don't know for sure, but I think he's probably there filming for the show. Now, the second person that was seen there, and this was seen in a lot of the other cast members' social media posts, was Marcus Rutherford. He plays Perrin. He was clean-shaven, though. He wasn't the old, scruffy, bearded Perrin that we'd seen on screen. He had shaved the beard off. So we know that Season 3 is going to dive into the Battle of the Two Rivers, specifically Perrin's storyline, where he meets Fail. He heads back to the Two Rivers to give himself up to the White Cloaks, because they're kind of harassing the rest of the Two Rivers. And then there ends up being a big battle with Trollocs and whatnot. We know that that's a large portion of the season. And Rafe Judkins has said on a number of occasions that this season will focus on that as one of the big storylines. I don't think it makes sense for him to finish the Battle of the Two Rivers and for them to change Perrin and Fael's plots that much for them to just be magically transported to the Waste. It makes no sense to me. So he's likely there supporting some of his friends, just having a good time visiting them. I don't think he filmed, but maybe he did. If you folks know something I don't, let me know in the comments down below. Now, the third person I want to address is Donal Finn, who plays Matt Cawthon. A lot of people want to see him in the Waste. They really, really do. I've previously reported on here that leaks that I've given out has stated that he is in Tanchico with some of the other cast members and not in the Waste. That didn't mean that he didn't go either before or after he filmed those scenes. There's plenty of open space here for Matt Cawthon to show up in the Waste. I personally don't think he does. But for those of you who like to have hope, he did take a break from Hadestown, the theater production that he was doing from February 21st to 24th. He wasn't seen in South Africa. That doesn't mean he couldn't have gone there and filmed some scenes. But remember, it was always also previously reported that they did film some Tanchico scenes in South Africa as well. So maybe he was going there to film some of those if he went. I mean, there's been no real indication that he was in South Africa. Just that he took a break for 3 nights, so it's possible. So I'm giving you folks some hope. If you want to see him in the Waste, that there's a little bit of hope there. Not much, but there's a little bit. Yeah, so anyway, now we're going to talk about some episode titles. Sorry about that. Let me know in the comments down below if you folks want to see Matt in the Waste. Now, some real important stuff happens to Matt in the Waste. Doesn't mean it can't happen elsewhere. Doesn't mean it can't happen in Tanchico. Doesn't mean it can't go through Redstone doorframe there. Doesn't mean that they are going to do that at all. Maybe he doesn't get the Foxhead Medallion. Maybe he doesn't have the holes in his memory filled by the Elfin and the Aphid. It's already been pretty much heavily implied that the Horn of Valir did that for him. So maybe his character is going to be more fundamentally changed than we think. I really don't know. But let me know in the comments down below what you folks think. All right. Now we're going to talk about episode titles. WOTSERIES.com recently reported a couple of new episode titles. But we're going to take these with a grain of salt, and I'll talk about why in just a moment. So the WGA website released 2 more episode titles. I don't want to say release. That's probably a bad word. It was just on the website. People found it. So we previously knew that episode 1 was To Race the Shadow, and Justine Gilmer was credited for that one. We also knew that episode 7 of season 3 was Golden Eyes, and Dave Hill was credited for that one. WGA was reporting that episode 2, so 302, was A Question of Crimson, and Catherine McKenna is credited for that one. And then the finale of the 3rd season, episode 8, was He Who Comes with the Dawn, and that's credited to Justine Gilmer. Now, this would be the first time that Rafe Judkins has not written or been given a writing credit for a finale for season 1 or season 2. So take that for what you will. Justine Gilmer has the credit for this one here. And after this article came out about these episode titles, and remember, this came from the WGA website, one of the production members, so Sarah Nakamura, she's the book consultant for the show. She's basically all things Wheel of Time related. She's their expert. She went on social media, and she did say that she wasn't really giving out any information, but she was saying that oftentimes this early, episode titles that are submitted could be placeholders. They can change right up to the very end. So will we get these episode titles? Like, will we get A Question of Crimson and He Who Comes with the Dawn? I don't know. Was she just saying that because they didn't want the finale episode title released? Because let's face it, we didn't know the finale episode title for season 1 or 2 until very late in the game, not this early. And that's one of the things that Amazon really, really hates. They like keeping that mystery for whatever reason, because the books are there and people kind of can figure out what's going to happen, at least for the most part. But they like that mystery, so they really didn't want this released, I don't think. So it would make sense to me if they're filming stuff in the waste, especially near the end of the season. They're filming the fourth block, episode 7 and 8, and they're filming a lot of Rand in the waste. That episode 8 is He Who Comes with the Dawn. He probably goes to the Golden Bowl, probably announces himself as the Karakar, He Who Comes to the Dawn. And I think that's probably what we're going to see there. Is that likely? I'd say 90%. Is it confirmed? Well, Sarah Nakamura did come out and say it could be a placeholder, so there is that little bit of doubt there, but let me know in the comments down below what you folks think. I think it would be fitting season 3 finale, personally. Now, the other one we're going to talk about is A Question of Crimson. Now, if you're unaware, this is a chapter title from The Fires of Heaven that involves none other than Val and Luca's Traveling Roadshow. So yes, does this mean we're going to get it in the series? Probably not. I don't think we're going to get that. But I think we probably will get some sort of Easter egg in the idea that Nynaeve is going to get that dress, because this whole chapter kind of surrounds, and I didn't give spoilers for anything further on, but the whole chapter kind of surrounds her with some other people in the Traveling Roadshow, and she has to wear a certain dress, and she's not very fond of it. I won't say any more than that. I'm not going to spoil too much. But Val and Luca's Traveling Roadshow has been a thing, like the thing that everyone's been talking about for the last couple of years. We're hoping to see in the show. I personally don't think we're going to get it. Maybe we'll get it as a small little Easter egg in the background. They'll pass by it. Maybe we'll go to it. I don't think the characters are actually going to go there, especially considering it's that early in the season. I think likely they're going to be in Chanchico, and I think the show may be there at the same time. But I don't think they're going to travel with it. Just my guess, though. Let me know in the comments down below what you folks think. All right, that's pretty much all the news I have for you today. We're pretty much, at this point, caught up to today as far as official and unofficial Wheel of Time news and rumors go. I do have some leaks to give to you later on this week, and I also have another video on the back burner right now that's going to come out in a couple of days that details what I think is happening in Season 3 for every one of the storylines. Some of it's based on informed speculation, because we have some hints and clues due to leaks and whatnot, and some of it's just wild speculation, where this is the things I want to happen in these storylines. So some of it may ring close to the truth, and some of it's probably going to miss the mark completely, but it's a whole lot of fun to do. So we're going to put that out in a couple of days too. So thank you very, very much for sticking with us here to the very end. Here's to many more.